Hello, fellow comic book ones. This is Naman. Welcome to my channel. I finally redesigned this character after 47 years. 47, whatever.
Oh, what fun we're going to have together.
What's up, Doc?
Before I show you my redesign, I want to take a look at this drawing again. So let me put that under the camera here. On my last video, I told you this cover was a reference to this character design. This cover done by Mike Forsberg and Robert Smith. However, I think this character design ideas mostly came from Mike Grell's artworks. You see the front, the U cutout in the front, skin tight clothing, tank top, circular buttons or circular or the knobs, whatever you call these things, the chain, the risque female characters, uh, stripper boot, stripper boot. Well, that's not a boot, but some type of funky legging. The C cutout, and more U cutout here. Not only did I collect Superboy Legion of Superheroes, but I collected Green Lantern, Green Arrow, Mike Grell series, and the Warlord Mike Grell series. So why? Why did I prefer Mike Grell over like people like John Buscema or Neil Adams or uh, Jim Starlin, James Franco? Why did I prefer Mike Grell? I mentioned this before. I used to watch a lot of animation that has been imported from Japan when I was a kid in Korea. At the time, I didn't know that, but as I mentioned before, I used to watch Tiger Mask, shows like The Marine Boy. And third one, I think in the United States, we called it G-Force. We, at the time when I was a kid, we called it 독수리 오형제.
독수리 오형제 서부수자 알레파 우주의 악마를 물새가 되어서 싸우는 우리 형제 태양이 빛나는 지구를 지켜라 선의의 특동대
I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but a lot of those characters in G-Force, they were all slim, tall, slinky, slender. Equipments around them were new, uh, futuristic looking. You know, equipment, vehicles, buildings, rooms. They all look shiny, glassy looking, right? And those were what I was familiar with when I first came to the United States. And I think that's why I gravitate toward Mike Grell's artwork at first because that's how he drew a lot of his stuff, like slender characters, not overly muscular characters. Equipment in the background or the vehicles in the building, they're all futuristic and shiny, glassy, all that good stuff. Let's compare to Jack Kirby's artwork. Boy, at first Jack Kirby's artwork was just like put off to me because a lot of the characters were just blocky and stout. You know, in my view, they were overly muscular and overly inked, overly detailed. It seemed like they were unnecessary details. And in my view at the time, I have matured since then, but as an art observer, but at the time, I didn't like all those clutterfuck equipments in the background. All those equipment that's supposed to be futuristic. It just looked like a nonsense to me. Now I realize the beauty of all that. How do you recognize futuristic equipments? How do you recognize futuristic vehicles? You don't know how the technology will evolve in 1,000 years or 100 years, right? So even 50 years, we won't know how they will evolve. So if he should draw out so that person will not be familiar with those surroundings, and that's what he was able to do. He's creating these fictional characters, creating a whole new universe, and it shouldn't be familiar. So now I appreciate that, but it was really hard to break away from that familiarity. For instance, why we have 1,000 issues of Superman? Why there's 1,000 takes on Batman and Spider-Man? Because we don't want to break away from that familiarity, the nostalgia. Accepting something new is harder for us. But anyway, given that talk, I want to get back into talking about, you know, redoing this artwork back in what 47 years ago. See how much I have changed, not as an art observer. I mean, I definitely have changed as an art observer, but how much have I changed as a person who does art? So let's get into that. I think subconsciously I put unreasonable pressure on myself. I did want to show improvement over this particular drawing that I did 47 years ago. But subconsciously, I think I was looking for 47 years worth of improvement. When in reality, I only spent, let's say, 2 years. I spent 2 years back, I got back into art again, about 2 or 3 years, I guess. Maybe 4, but not 47 years worth of improvement. I further challenged myself by saying that I'm going to learn how to use these ink brushes, something I was not familiar with. I knew how to draw with the pencil and ink it with ink pens, but not with these guys, not with the brushes. This one, my kids got it for me for my Father's Day or birthday gift. Very nice pen, expensive pen, refillable. Ink flow too fast on this one. I couldn't control it. Maybe on a bigger drawing, with the less details, maybe I could use this one, but not on these smaller drawings. Same thing with this one. This one, I think Kim Jong-un recommended it, and it had I just couldn't control the flow on these two guys. Not on final detailed drawings. Now this one, I think also Kim Jong-un recommended one. This one, I liked it when ink flow just right. What happens is at the beginning, ink flows too fast. Then it gets to the point where ink flows just right. Then it gets to the point where ink flows just a little too slow. So you have to give it a couple pump on that thing. Then it gets flowing too fast again, So it was a little inconsistent. I didn't know how to keep it going at consistent rate, the flow wise. I really like it when it flows just right, but so I had to compromise and use these guys. These are like something like a less than $5 at Michael's. Flow, ink flow is not just right, but it's a little more manageable than other options. So this is what I'm using. But one problem with this is that it's not refillable and it runs out of ink really quick. So enough talk about ink brushes. Another thing I want to share with you guys is that I have a new outlook on what sketchbook should be. Before, I used to think of a sketchbook as a final product, my best work presented on a one page. If it's no good, I just rip it out. But I decided that no, I want to use all these empty spaces for practices. Yes. Then of course I got into this project where I wanted to redo this character, right? So this is the beginning of that practice. And as you can tell, I try to come out with the different poses. You can probably see that I try to put a lot of pressure on myself to do better. And I guess sometimes that's needed if you have a desire to do better. That's not a bad thing, but I think it was a little unreasonable for me to try to improve 47 years worth of improvement in just one session of sketchbook. Once I recognized that I was putting too much pressure on myself, I went back to pencil, the blue pencil, and I decided that I'm just gonna use blue pencil to undersketch it.
슈파 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 우렁찬 엔진 소리 목소리 오형제 청구수자 알레파 우주의
Okay, I think blue is all done. I don't know if I wanna ink brush that now. I'm afraid to do it. Let me go ahead and try to ink it first. Oh gosh. Ah, shit.
바다의 왕자 마린보이 푸른 바다 밑에서
It's so discouraging, right? Right from the beginning, you mess up with the ink pen.
마린보이 소녀는 우리 편이다 착하고 아름다운 이너 아가씨야 맘씨고니 고래야
Oh shoot! I think I'm gonna go back to ink brush. What the heck? If I'm gonna make a mistake like that, I might as well just yeah. Let me go back to ink brushes. Oh my gosh.
바다의 왕자 마린보이 푸른 바다 밑에서 잘도 싸우는 슬기롭고 씩씩한 용감스러운 마린보이 소녀는 우리 편이다 착하고
Okay, this is it. I purposely left out the shading because I don't know how to shade using ink brushes. I don't even know how to shade. We're actually using ink pens. I know how to shade using pencil, but the cross hatching, I'm not good at those. But so I left it out, all the shading. I left out the background because I want to do another thing that's unfamiliar to me, was to take this image, put it into a PC, and see if I could get the what is it that I have? What's that software called? Clip Studio. Yeah, I wanna see if I could improve this on a Clip Studio, and maybe even generate a background using Clip Studio. So yeah. Meanwhile, let me go ahead and look at this drawing a little more carefully. Yeah, I think there's improvement over this one. Even with my poor ink brushing technique. For instance, here her lips. I don't know. It's a little bit better than that, I guess. Proportions are better, I think. Her body poses are a little bit better. I still think it's a little awkward. This is. My line hasn't improved much. My line hasn't improved much at all. It's just very not confident. These are not very confident lines. They're not smooth lines. I wish I could draw the really smooth lines, with the varying degrees of thickness. But yeah, these are very, yeah, it's still very amateurish lines. Hands, not much improvement on hands. Matter of fact, I think that hand's better than that hand. The improvement on the drawing of the feet. Yeah, I made things more simpler. I took out all these bracelets. I think less is better on this one. Less is more. Decided to put a cape that goes around it. I thought that made more sense than this cape what's that cape attached to? So uh, our arms are a little bit better, not much, but a little bit. Overall, I think I did a little improvement over this drawing. I mean, compared speaking, boots. I decided I'm not going to do these non-functional boots. I don't think they're not very practical boots. I mean, this is probably not very practical either with the heels. It's supposed to be warrior, but well, she's also she's a magic user, so maybe she don't need them. Maybe she could just float. Anyway, I think I'm done. Overall, I think I've improved. Certainly not 47 years worth of improvement, but improvement nevertheless. So yeah, one of the things that people were wondering if I regret my decision to not pursue art, and I'm realizing that I made the right choice. I made the right choice on not pursuing art because I'm a pretty good engineer, and if I was pursuing art and let's say I'm doing okay. Let's say I'm doing okay in art. I probably will do the same thing. Like, what if I pursue that engineering degree? Instead of just what if I did that? So I do not want to live a regretful life. I'm happy I made the choice I made, the family I have, wife I have, the kids I have, and those are all blessings to me. So yeah, I don't think I would have made a different choice. I do not regret not pursuing art. Um, I am very thankful at this late in my life that I'm able to do art. Rest of me is deteriorating, getting older, getting slower. Skins are loosening up, getting fatter, and not in good physical shape. More things go broke, but I feel very fortunate that I have something that's left in me that has actually room to grow, you know, and I could pursue this art without having to worry about being hungry. I feel very blessed for having that option. So, yeah. Anyway, I want to see how this will look in my Clip Studio when I do the Clip Studio project with this. Yeah. Uh, Again, I would like to improve on line arts and stuff, but I think those are coming as long as I keep at it. So I'm really happy. Anyway, till next time, I'm out.